Now, as promised mere moments ago,
Oh, yes.
I told you I would talk about the movie Unfrosted.
Okay. Now, this, for people who don't know, this is the latest in a long line of documentary about a product.
It's not a documentary.
Is it not?
No.
Oh, it's a mockumentary.
Sort of.
Is it not the story of Pop-Tarts?
It is, but it's not. It's like...
Okay. I misspoke. I shouldn't have said documentary. It's a mockumentary.
Yeah. It's like, like the Weird Al movie?
I guess Blackberry is a documentary of sorts.
Yes, that's like an accurate...
It's a product biopic.
Thank you for saying that.
But so this is a fake...
Yeah.
This is like Weird Al. You were saying Weird Al's...
Yeah, but that movie was good.
Okay, right. So this is a fake history of Pop-Tarts is what you're saying. Is that what it is? Okay, great.
That's right.
Because I guess the real history of Pop-Tarts would have been like somebody made them in a kitchen somewhere and someone went, that's a pretty good idea, let's mass produce it.
Yep.
And then they did.
Yeah, exactly.
You can get them in a shop.
Get them if you want them.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had one.
Yeah, not bad.
Do you have the quote? Because I've got the quote from what Jerry Seinfeld's
I do not have the
been
quote.
up to this week.
Let's give us the quote, James.
Jerry Seinfeld's been doing the rounds this week, Mason.
That's
doing
right.
all sorts of social media. Mm-hmm. He's a canny lad, isn't he?
And he's rich.
And he's rich.
Yeah.
And you can do anything when you're rich.
That's right.
But not
You can say
anything
anything.
because you get cancelled.
Oh, that's true. I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
It said, he said, it used to be you'd go home at the end of the day. Most people would go, oh, Cheers is on. Oh, MASH is on. And I love MASH. You know that.
Yeah.
Oh, Mary Tyler Moore is on.
I love Bangers and MASH.
Yeah. All in
The cartoon with
the monkeys, yeah. All in the Family is on. You just expected there'd be some funny stuff you can watch on TV tonight. This is a result of, and there's not now apparently, this is the result of the extreme left and PC, political correct crap. And people worrying so much about offending other people. And people have obviously pointed out this week that Larry David, who co-created Seinfeld,
Just finished Curb Your Enthusiasm, which went for more than 20 years.
and is like, it's the, he's saying, he's actually doing comedy where it's like, this is pushing the boundaries of what people find acceptable and what you can talk about. You could point to like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You know what I mean?
I think a lot of people have said that. Well, I think when you give examples, because there's so many examples of great
Comedy is way better now.
but
Also, because there's more of it. Also,
but it's less laugh tracky.
Yeah.
It's more
the joke dense.
Multi-camera. What do you call single camera sitcoms that are just sort of they've got a slightly more realistic bent to them, or what have you, or just shows that are very funny but are not necessarily like. Would you say Succession is that's a funny show,
but
right?
It's not like a.
It's not, but it's not a sitcom. that sort of thing. And I think people, if you say, okay, well, what about Curb Your Enthusiasm, or what about It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, people will say, well, actually, because they started years ago, they don't count.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But I think the difference between something you can't say anything anymore and blah 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 and all that sort of stuff. The reason that Always Sunny and Curb have succeeded this long is because the characters do awful things and they continue on, is because they never prosper. You know what I mean? Like the Always Sunny characters, they have a scheme and they do funny, outlandish stuff, but at the end they're always just back in the bar eating garbage and just failures and living in a bin or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's the same with Larry. He's rich, but nobody.
He's miserable.
He's miserable and nobody likes him. And,
Absolutely.
Whereas I think a lot of people want these characters to be really offensive and also succeed.
And as a result of that,
prosper and be cool and everybody loves them that's what they want. They want characters who can say awful things and be celebrated for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, and there's so many good comedies. I mean, there's Barry, Community. I know it's a little bit older now. Like The Good Place. Like I could, Mason. I wish I could. I wish we had the time. That 90s show, it's probably incredible, Mason. But so look, a man who's rich enough to say anything and make anything at this point. I watched the movie Unfrosted, which, like as you mentioned, it's the story of Pop-Tarts, right?
Oh, here we go. This is a tweet from Brian Lynch.
Okay.
Who I believe is some sort of Hollywood guy, screenwriter.
I know Brian Lynch.
He says, I want to laugh and can't find anything on TV currently on. I can't find anything currently on TV, but Abbott Elementary, Girls 5 Ever Killing It, I Think You Should Leave, Hacks, The Rehearsal, Always Sunny, What We Do in the Shadows, Dave, Shrinking, Harley Quinn, Star Trek, Lower Decks, Only Murders in the Building, This Fool, Solar Opposites, The Simpsons, Ted, Resident Alien, Sex Education, Conan O'Brien Must Go, White Lotus, College Girls, Jury Duty, etc. Reservation Dogs, The After Party, Big Mouth, Kunk on Earth, etc. Russian Doll, just keeps going.
Yeah, but what else?
Yeah, exactly. But see, I think a lot of this stuff is something, and that's the thing. I think, stuff like I Think You Should Leave or The Rehearsal.
Yeah.
It's pushing new boundaries, but not in the sense of like, well, we've got to offend people.
No.
But just being weird.
Because just making something that is offensive is also, I find, and probably not everybody feels this way, it's just boring.
It's boring, yeah.
It's boring and it's not saying anything. Mm-hmm. And speaking of boring and not saying anything, Unfrosted, right? Uh-huh. And look.
Oh, yes, we're talking about that.
I'd love to have like a strong opinion because like it's not even dreadful. I wasn't even like, this is fucking unwatchable because it's not. It's fine. Okay. Like it's just washes kind of over you. It's based on a joke, which I looked up, which he talks about.
A Seinfeld joke.
Yeah, stand up from a few years, from like a decade back or so.
Okay. When you could still say this sort of edgy stuff.
Yeah, where he talks about the creation of Pop-Tarts and what must have happened and whatever. And the joke itself is like, it's, you know what? Okay. This show is like, this movie, sorry. It's like the Seinfeld stand-up bits from Seinfeld, but that's it.
Right.
So it's just like, oh, what if this is this, though? And I can't even think of a good example. Okay, so there's moments where, like, they do the origin of Tony the Tiger's They're Great.
Okay.
Right? Because Hugh Grant plays Tony the Tiger, and they're filming a commercial, and they're like, why don't you improv something? He goes, They're Great. And they go, that's perfect, that's in. And it's like, wow, that's the origin of They're Great.
Okay.
There's a moment where he gets handed a cup of, like, juice, like of orange drink.
Who's this?
Jerry Seinfeld.
I love Jerry Seinfeld.
Or whoever he's playing. And he drinks it and he goes, there's a tang to that. And they're like, that's a great name for a drink. It's like that.
Oh, those are bad.
Yeah, it's not even a joke.
That's not a joke, no.
So it's that, and there's like a revolving door of like amazing cameos.
I know John Hamm is in it.
John Hamm is in it, where he does Don Draper in it. Mm-hmm. He just does, and there's some like okay jokes in it, and it's clearly like, it is a love letter to Seinfeld's love of like 60s like kitsch products. There's like X-ray specs and silly putty and all that kind of stuff.
So this is just references. There's a
storyline because it's like a nuclear arms race between Kellogg's and fucking Post to make the first Pop-Tart.
Oh, I love that.
Right?
Did it make you hungry for Pop-Tarts?
No. And that's the other thing. Like, what baffles me from this? I'm not even mad about it. It's confusing.
You seem a little bit mad about it.
No, it's genuinely confusing because, like, with the money that he has,
yes,
and like his creative, amazing brain, right?
Yes.
He could do anything, and with that, he's done like a really tame, fictionalized, basically like a commercial for a dog shit food substitute.
That's wild,
for
right?
nobody.
Yeah.
So, like, why? You're not even saying anything. And if it was really funny, like Weird Al, the movie, right?
Yes.
Which I think these are similar. That doesn't have like overt messaging in any which way, but it's fucking wall to wall with jokes.
That's true, yeah.
And the cameos of this are just like pretty much a comedian walks on dressed as the fucking Kellogg's chicken or whatever, and then goes cockadoodle fucking whatever. I'm this comedian, and then they leave.
Great.
Like Bill Burr plays JFK, and he does like a pretty good JFK.
Okay,
right?
great.
The stuff like Ronnie Cheng's in it. He's pretty funny because he's funny, right?
Yeah,
But it's like that. But like, again, it's nothing. Kellogg's itself has a really bizarre backstory.
Yeah.
As like a Mormon anti-masturbatory, like, I was going to cult, basically.
Yeah, that's right.
But none of that is like touched on at all, probably.
Touched on.
Yeah.
We don't want anything to be touched on.
It's just like, and I wasn't even sure. I don't think this is like actually a commercial. I think it's like, I don't think Kellogg's like paid him to make this because like,
yeah, right.
Why would you?
No.
It's just confusing to be like, I don't understand comedy. Comedy's bad and not saying anything, and I can't say anything. But like, you made this.
Yeah.
If you made something that was incredible, I think then at least you could go, well, I made this incredible thing.
And it's also fascinating to me that he's never been known for doing anything edgy.
That's exactly.
Ever. Like if you say to somebody, what's a Seinfeld joke? They'll go, oh, what's
they
the deal
do the
with
airplane
the airplane
peanuts
food?
thing.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right.
Which he might not have even ever said.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
But that's the vibe he gives.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever gone, I never see anybody share a stand-up routine of Seinfeld and it's like, wow, that really cut to the core, didn't it?
No, never.
No.
So it's I don't know. It's just the whole thing is confusing. And I know I watched a bunch of interviews with him this week, and one of the things I saw him say in multiple interviews was, what I'm going to really enjoy doing is like, I'm going to read the reviews and I'm going to look for the nastiest reviews and I'm going to love that and I'm going to read them and it's going to bring me great joy. And like, first of all, I don't believe you. Like, I don't think that people being like, this is boring and because it's reviewing terribly, which doesn't necessarily mean it. I think there are people who will probably like this because, again, it's not even dreadful.
Right.
Right.
It's a guy you know.
Yeah, it's a guy you know. So
Jerry Seinfeld said he wanted Unfrosted to be nothing like Barbie.
yeah, there's that also. But also, it is kind of like Barbie. If Barbie didn't have
any jokes.
Yeah, again, it has jokes.
What you're describing seems quite silly and surreal.
It is.
So, and that's what Barbie was.
Yeah,
you know?
it is. There is it is a surreal, because Barbie is also this kind of retro 1960s world. And it's literally set in the 60s. So it's not dissimilar. But it's not like the anti-Barbie where you're like, oh man, this is really, it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a strong opinion on it.
This
other
thing,
than but yeah, if he...
Would you say it destroyed woke culture, though?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Single-handedly.
Yeah, it feels like something that would easily do that, so...
Yeah. But I don't know. Can you imagine getting joy from reading a review and a review? It's like, I'm looking for the worst reviews and people are like, this is nothing.
Yeah.
Does that bring you joy?
I don't think it would.
Because like a cutting review where someone's like, you've pushed it too far and I found this offensive. And maybe you do get a kick out of that from being like, I'm pushing boundaries.
Yeah.
But if you read a review that's like, yeah, who cares?
That's right, yeah.
What do you get out of that?
I don't know.
Does that make you happy?
Yeah, because maybe
that you made a nothing thing for nobody?
Maybe it does because you're like, at a certain point, maybe you just go, well, I've still got $1 billion, don't I?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
But like, okay, great.
But that's the thing. I think maybe that is what it is. Like part of this is just kind of, he can't push the boundaries anymore.
Yeah.
He's never been known for that. And this element of comedy, the world of comedy has passed him by to a certain point.
Yeah.
Like the stuff he does is just a tool now. Like some comedians do observational stuff, but a lot of comedians now do like deeply personal things and what have you.
And there's like layers to the jokes.
Yeah. So maybe now he's like, because he can't push the envelope, maybe he's just like, I can do whatever I want and make whatever I want and say whatever I want, and now I'm rich.
If you paid for this at Netflix,
yeah.
I mean, is this what are you happy about this? Like, really? You know? Because again, it's not reviewing well. I don't know. Maybe it'll probably do numbers, or at least initially. But
because he said here, this is the result of the extreme left and PC crap and people worrying so much about offending other people. When you write a script and it goes into 4 or 5 hands, committee groups, here's our thought about this joke. Well, that's the end of your comedy. So maybe this is exactly like, maybe he went to Netflix and he said, I want to make a thing and it's got to be exactly the way I want and I will not have any changes made by producers or anything like that. And this is what this is.
Great.
Yeah.
Then you did it, man.
Yeah.
Well done, I guess. Yeah. Also, he did date a 17-year-old schoolgirl when he was 38.
He did do that.
That's the thing that happened.
That's actually, yeah.
So, but...
And maybe in whatever state that was, it wasn't technically illegal.
Yeah.
But if you have to use the phrase, well, that's not technically illegal.
That's come up a lot this week, right?
Uh-huh.
And a lot of and I've seen like people defending it. I saw one that was like, you're just jealous. And it's like, I'm sure if you were 38 and you really wanted to date a 17-year-old, you probably could, right? You could find somebody to do it. Most people aren't looking in that and going, oh, damn, I wish...
Yeah.
A normal person isn't like, I'm jealous of that. It's like, that's a freak. Like, why would you do that? Mm-hmm. That's a normal reaction.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. I can't wait to see what he does next. A boring thing for nobody.
Maybe another boring thing. Maybe another season of the one where he shows you all the cars he has.
Again, that's also, I find that like, it depends who's on it. If there's somebody funny on it, then you can sometimes, but even then it's like, I don't even, these two aren't even...
Well, I mean, I've seen a few episodes of that show, and I think depending on the guest, I think it can be quite interesting. But there was a lot of stuff of like, at what point can I take credit for my jokes or whatever? Like, it's like, you know, there's this kind of vibe of like, he's one of those guys. I think he's like a J.K. Rowling, whatever it is, where at a certain point he's got so much money and so much success that and
he did it all himself.
Well, that's exactly it. He's developed the mindset of like, well, I made every correct choice and I've made, there's no element of chance, it's just, my level of skill.
My instincts are good.
My instincts are good and I've made every correct choice and blah, 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 where it's like, no, there was some luck.
Yeah.
Like if you had a bad meeting with an executive, they might have just gone, I don't like this.
Yeah.
And,
And they let his show run. Like, it didn't do well till like season 3 or 4. That wouldn't happen now. You wouldn't allow a show to slowly find its feet on network television every week. That doesn't happen now.
Yeah.
Like, his show now, if you put on Seinfeld, that would be cancelled immediately. There's no way that would get through
that's
now,
probably
you know,
true,
with those numbers. I mean, it's just not, regardless of what you think about it, like, it took years to build.
That's exactly,
Again, a product of his environment and luck and time and working on the craft and bringing other people in.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.